people aren't going to remember you by how much money you had, for sure. The material things you had, how fit you were, whatever. They're not going to remember any of that. They're going to remember how you made them feel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dark Work Podcast. Today's guest is Tyler Hall. Now, Tyler is an individual that has a depth to him that, in my opinion, humanity needs to have more of. It's not so much that he has gone through things that everybody hasn't gone through, which he actually has, but it's the ability to reconnect with that. I think life provides us all situations that we can gain great wisdom from, but if you don't go back and pay attention to it or navigate it or see it for what it is, you lose that wisdom and you keep running into walls in life over and over where you could actually clear those walls if you just took a look at why they're there in the first place or get over them. So in our conversation today, we dive through a man's life who's honestly fought some things that many will never get a chance to fight, but the lessons that are extracted are able to be put into your life immediately without having to have gone through the same things he did. And if you can tune in with a heart and a mind that's open, as well as a perspective of a way to see your future through his eyes, you'll see what you can be capable of, as well as what the thing you had experienced in the past could not just be a reason you did poorly, but also a catalyst to some great things in your life. So I got nothing more. Let's have Tyler tell the words himself. Let's get into the episode. Hey, welcome back to the Dark Work Podcast. I'm excited to dive into this conversation with you guys today. You sometimes in life you'll meet individuals and in a brief couple of moments of just kind of seeing one, how they talk to you, their eyes, like they got some depth to them. My man Tyler Hall has some depth to him. We're going to unpack a little bit today. So how you doing today, sir?
Amazing. Thank you, brother, for having me on the show.
I'm excited. Seriously, I'm not even joking. I know people go like, I'm excited. Like, I'm actually looking forward to this conversation. I flew out here and I spend time looking at the people and kind of get a chance to see enough, but not too much about who they are. And there's some things you've done professionally, which we'll talk about, but a lot of the things I want to find out about are like the human in you. I believe that we all have a sense of, I call it identity, who you are. We're not thinking about who you are, but it's crafted through the things you've done in the dark that nobody saw, and it makes you become the human that people do get to see. So I do want to start with the good stuff, though. We get a little brief kind of intro. We were chatting, but I don't know if the world, that's here knows fully in depth. But I look at the cool parts of life as like the light of our lives. Do you mind sharing with us, like, what are the lights of your life right now?
How about this one? I love the topic of identity. Can we spend a beat on that?
Oh, we're gonna spend a lot of time on that. Okay, let's go there. If you want to go there, let's go there now. Yeah.
Here's why I love leading with this, right? So I host a podcast as well. And, from time to time, I'll have the guests introduce themselves to our audience. And what do most people do when you ask them to introduce themselves?
All the things they've accomplished and achieved. And
here's what I've done, here's what I do. A lot of times it's professionally, it's accolades, it's accomplishments, exactly like you said. And I think that's totally unproductive. And I think in society that needs to change.
I agree.
And so I love this word identity that you said. How did you?
So my definition, so I wrote a book called Identity Shifts, and I had to find a way to simplify it. It's who you are when you're not thinking about who you are.
Okay, I love
your
this.
Natural flow.
One thing that Justin Prince says is identity can be defined as you are not what you did, you are what you repeatedly do.
Oh, for sure.
Right, so you think about
habitual stuff to it.
Yeah, what are the things that we, how do we show up on a consistent basis? That's really who we become. That's really our identity.
Yeah.
And so we do this, I do an exercise called the I am statement.
I've heard of it.
And you're probably very familiar with this.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I read that for you?
Yeah, do. Read it out. I love this.
I think that this is...
It's going to be good. It's going to be fun, man. Because most people don't want to dive into identity with me because, I don't know what... I think the cool part about it is like you're talking to, and even the world we live in, habits nowadays, most people don't even select the habits and based on where they're going to go. I can get a great bunch of habits together, but if I don't think about who I'm becoming with them, I might do them all great and miss the ball at the end.
There you go. Okay. Here's who I am. Okay. I'm a child of God with potential beyond human imagination. A father of 4 sacred children and a husband to a loving wife. I'm a machine. My habits and routines can't be broken. A man of my word. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm a doer. Watch my feet, not my lips. A long game player, not distracted by instant gratification. An acceptor of people. My ability to judge does not exist. I lift others and always bring good energy. I don't take things personally because I know who I am. Full of love for my fellow man, even tempered because I stay present. a calm and kind man, but not to be taken lightly. My sword is sheathed and will only be used if absolutely necessary. Called to change the lives of millions of men through my example.
I love this.
That's who I am.
I love it. As soon as you said that one about the sheath, it reminds you of Peterson's statement of it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a former NFL linebacker. Like, there's this part of me that, but he doesn't need to be there unless he needs to be there. But all this stuff, man, I hear these things and I go, this is beautiful, because not many men get to this point of having that kind of clarity of who you are. And if they do, they don't need to express it. My thought goes to to get to that level of like depth and clarity, we had to go through some muck.
That's right.
Yeah, there was one statement by a guy, I can't think of who he was in a podcast, he says, that you'll never know the level of violence it took to be this gentle.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that? Well, I can't think of
I
who it
love
was.
that clip.
But it was, and I go, man, there's a truth to that. Now, I've never lived in that person's shoes and done what they've done, but I understand when you go through hardship, man, it gives you a different perspective. Maybe it's gratitude, I think, for me to get to a certain level. So knowing all these things are part of you, like what was some of the, I guess, let's take it back to a point in time when you wished for that. Was there a point in the past when like you didn't have that, you were presently aware of not having that, and you go, man, I'd like to have even a segment of the things you just listed?
I think I was so distracted by money, really, as my number one priority in
Most
life.
people hit that, at some point in time.
I would say, like, God first, family second, physical health third, mental, right? But like, in reality, my priorities were twisted.
Yeah, Calendar probably didn't have that in there.
And it was all about money. It was all about the next, chasing the next coin.
Yeah.
Is the way that I like to phrase this. And, so admittedly, like, no, I wasn't present or aware enough to sit down and go, man, who am I actually?
Yeah.
Right? And so, my story from a professional standpoint is college dropout, go straight into early stage startups, software businesses. I spent 7 years at 2 early stage companies. The first one went public on the NASDAQ at over $1 billion valuation. The second one we sold to a private equity group for $500 million. These weren't my companies, though. I was early enough to have some equity and make a few shillings, right? 2018, I start my own business. We quickly become like the next hot automotive startup, right, in the software game. Raised a bunch of venture capital. We're the first company in North America ever backed by Porsche, right? Like, I'm high flying. I'm 28, cool. 29 years old. I'm raising a bunch of money, spending it as fast as I can, basically.
Sounds about right for most.
And, this was sort of frothy capital markets. Things have changed, obviously.
Yeah.
And, I go through the roller coaster of things. I love the word darkness. A lot of darkness being a founder of a company. Specifically, the way that I describe it to people who have never done this is the founder and CEO of a company is like the center of a wheel of constituents that all matter, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's investors, it's potential investors, it's your board, it's your co-founder, it's your employees, it's your partners, it's your customers, it's the public's perception of you. There's all these constituents when you build a company that actually matter a lot. And the CEO is the one person in the whole organization that takes all the down pressure from these constituents. And so that's heavy. It's hard to explain, like, the amount of weight certain days I would have on my chest to where it was hard to breathe. Because the night before we got a yes for our next round of funding. If we didn't close this within 4 weeks, we're done. And I wake up the next day and that yes from last night is now a no. And so now I got to go back to all these people and I got to say, hey, that investment that I thought we were going to get, it's not coming in. And just that pressure, that darkness, those sleepless nights.
Yeah, cold sweats you mentioned earlier. It's a feeling. It'll hit you emotionally.
Literal cold sweat, literal like a physiological change in the body, right? That's hard to describe. And so I went through all of that, and I'm happy to go further on that. But
you got to go further on that because there's some things in there tucked away that people won't get a chance to hear unless they hear it from you.
I mean,
and I don't want you to randomly wander into it because I remember these days. So I came out of the NFL and I hurt my shoulder and I had this gym business. I was like, I'm gonna be this big thing. And 9 months in, I get a guy walking in, hands me an envelope, and I open it up, and it's from the landlord. I hadn't paid rent in 3 months. It was eviction notice. So I got a mortgage, I got a wife, I got a 4-year-old, I got newborn twins, and I'm this guy, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything in line where I'm supposed to be. Different from your situation, the pressure, but now I'm like the CEO of my family, and I'm definitely not in a position where I'm handling this well. And I had the same thing. I couldn't sleep at night, didn't want to eat. Like I just felt everything as a weight. But then I've also the flip side of it, where I've got successful companies now, and it's like there's a lot that people don't see. I got to put the smile on.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate that without letting people see you, but also still keeping yourself in a motivation to move forwards?
Yeah. Yeah, I think about it like this. You know, as the CEO of a company, I'd walk into my closet in the morning. One of the first things I'd do is I'd look at my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
What do I have today? Who do I need to talk to?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, today I'm raising capital. So I walk in my closet, I grab a mask off the wall, and it's my investor mask. Boom,
Yeah.
and I put that thing on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I showed up a different way depending on who I was
That's true.
interfacing with.
Yeah, that's actually how we do it.
It's actually incredibly unhealthy, though. I mean,
it's not.
You think
Yeah.
about having to play these different personas.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout one day, I could put on 4 or 5 different masks.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
And
It's a million.
dude, living that way
Yeah.
it's not right. And you know, I describe doing a startup like this. Everybody in their life, if you think about like a roller coaster, okay? Everybody in their life has ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of looks like this, okay? In a startup, it looks more like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning if this is 1 year of time, it's more like a heart rate
Yeah,
monitor.
it's condensed down, yeah.
The highs and lows can happen within such condensed periods of time that if you don't find a way to like flatten the curve of the roller coaster,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it's
Pretty ragged.
it can lead to some really bad stuff, right? And so like let me give you a real scenario here.
Yeah, I had a question too.
Okay. So I wake up one day. Things are normal. Okay, my normal routine was gym super early, 5 o'clock, get into the office about 7, and then I was at the office till probably 7 at night, every day, right? Great dad, right? Saw my kids all the time. And I get to the office, my assistant's in there, she says, hey, we need to talk. And I go, cool, come in. She goes, no, like we need to leave the building to have this conversation. I'm like, what? So we go outside. She goes, I'll call this person Ben, okay? She goes, Ben, and what do we want to call the other one? Sally,
All right.
okay? Ben and Sally, last night, okay, 2 married people in the business. One of them's my best friend, Ben, by the way,
Okay.
at this point. First employee in the company, my ride or die.
Yeah.
By the way, former NFL player, like dog, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ben and Sally decided last night that it would be appropriate to go out and have dinner and have drinks.
Uh-huh.
And so they did that. And after they did that, they decided that they were going to get in the truck, by the way, company vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
and they were going to have sex with each other. And then he was going to drive her home. And she plays a recording, and it's a recorded audio of a phone call of Ben calling her in front of the police, who had now pulled him over for DUI, who were
wow.
questioning him.
They're not married to each other in this car.
No,
Okay.
they're married to 2 separate people.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they have an affair.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in a company vehicle. There's a recorded call. So what Ben did is he called my assistant because
Yeah.
he panicked.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, I'm in a situation. Here's what's going on.
Yep.
The police are questioning me. Blah blah blah." They're like, "Sir, hang up the phone." And this goes on for 4 minutes. I listened to the entire interaction with the police. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So Ben doesn't show up for work that day. Why? Because he's in jail.
Huh. Well,
Okay. So about noon, 1 o'clock, he comes rolling in, and I go, "What's up, man? You good? What happened?" "Oh yeah." He goes, I really need to talk to you."
mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Cool. This is going to go great. He's going to just come clean. We're going to get through it. It's going to be fine."
Yeah.
He sits down in front of me. He says, "Hey, last night a friend came into town, another dude, We went out. We had one drink. I was in the company vehicle. I got pulled over by the cops. They racially profiled me because I'm a black man. It's not right the way that the system works. I'm now just another victim in the system and this and that. And I said,
But you know the truth already. So.
I know the truth. I know everything.
Yeah.
I know every detail. I said, Ben, I need you to start over and I need you to tell me the story one more time. Just everything in detail. What happened,
Yeah.
Ben? And I'm giving him the cues like,
Tell the truth.
just tell me, man, please.
Yeah, I already know. Yeah.
I already know. Just tell me.
Yeah.
Runs through the same story. I go, brother, please, just one more time. What exactly? Who was it? Who were you with again? How many drinks again?
Yeah.
Where did this happen? Right?
Yeah. You already heard the recording.
Goes through it again.
Yeah.
I go, does this sound familiar? I play the recording.
Yeah.
He's like, oh fuck, man, dude, I'm so sorry.
There's so much depth to this. Yeah.
I'm like, brother.
Those
Like,
be cool.
dude,
Those be fresh friends.
we'll like die for each other, and you
Yeah.
won't even like
Tell me the truth.
tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you would be. I said, no, man. This is your last day. This is it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right? Pack your stuff. We pack his stuff. He leaves. Okay? That's the first thing that happens this day. Okay?
When I even do it, that's great. I've had to do this too. I've had to fire people that I played on college teams with for doing stuff like this, and just it's like they force your hand, and it sucks because then it's your fault sometimes. Like, how dare you? And it's like, you don't understand the situation I'm in.
I walk out of that meeting. The team is cheering. Okay? So I walk out of the hardest meeting possible.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what just happened. I walk in, the team is cheering because they just closed the biggest deal in company history.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Brian, by the way, Ben, excuse me, he's walking in there packing his bags.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what just happened, but the team is, hey, yeah, Tyler, guess what just happened? We just closed the biggest deal. Okay, so again,
Up to it, yeah.
I leave that day from a investor who that morning said, we're going to invest. That night said, we're no longer investing. And this is a big deal. We're almost out of money at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so back down.
Yeah.
I wake up the next morning. Okay, this is all in a 24-hour block. I'm on the phone with a potential investor.
Yeah.
I get a notification from Wells Fargo that says you have a negative bank balance. First time in my life that I'd ever had less than $0
Yeah.
in my name.
Yeah.
Negative $83. I get a text from my wife immediately, screenshot of that same message that she also got. Said, hey, are we good?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? I mean, this happened within 20. I mean, think of like just the
Up and down, up
just
and down.
the ups and downs of this.
Yeah.
And by the way, this happened like that's the extreme example, but this happened all the time.
It's the nature of it. I was just telling my kids the other day that there was in my gym business that I had, which is obviously at the same level as yours, but it was my first trial to startup, 25, 26 years old. I
Yeah.
said, kids, you have no idea how hard it was to get to the point now where you have no struggles. I said, there was definitively 8 times that I counted over my years of that gym where I woke up in the morning and I had to find a way to make rent that day.
Yeah.
Like that day. And then I'm a man of faith. I was always provided for. God always came in and people would come out and pay in full like that day. But like the weight of all that, I was like, you guys, you don't understand. There's a lot of things you'll never see, never feel. And not everybody's built to handle it, to be honest. But I think there are certain things where we need those moments for us later on. I think having those, like current Anthony needed that stuff to happen back then to be what it is.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of this. Obviously it's not the only time. It's not secluded. So what becomes a thing that for you from that moment in time is the next thing you do? Because a lot of people crumble under the weight of that. Like, what do you think you did different, and why do you think you did it different?
I think that like being an entrepreneur, it requires a certain type of like loose screw syndrome.
I agree. It'll be a little weird, man.
Where like it's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like building a business doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't do it. And one of the questions I get asked the most now is like, Tyler, I want to build a company. I'm like, tell me more. Well, I think it'd be amazing, like have my own hours, like make lots of money, like do all the things. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. So I go, have you ever thought about having no friends? They're like, what do you mean? Well, you want to do a company, you're probably not going to have friends.
No time.
Have you ever thought about having no money for a long time?
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah,
Like,
in the beginning for sure.
that's also going to, have you ever thought about like not sleeping?
Yeah.
You ever thought about no social life? You ever thought like,
Fight with your spouse, not being a good parent.
oh,
like these things
dude,
all
like
come
all
in.
your relationships going to shit. The most
Yeah.
important ones with your wife, with your kid. Like, you ever thought about those things? Like, wait a minute, that's not what entrepreneur. It's like, no, dude. Like, you want to start a company. There's a heavy price to pay.
There is.
And for most people, the advice is, definitely don't do it.
It's actually sound advice to an extent.
Definitely don't do it.
Yeah.
Now, if I tell you this list of 25 things that is going to happen inevitably to your life, and you don't even flinch, you're like, yeah, I get it. Maybe you should do it.
Yeah.
But if any of these things cause you any sort of, anxiety or like physical reaction,
Yeah. It's not
don't
wise.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing is, everybody looks at it, and we talk about it all the time, which is kind of why this podcast exists, is the things that people see of the individuals who are out there doing the thing. People look at them like they're mean. Like, I always heard a statement. People say, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Right? They say, don't meet your heroes. The people they look up to or they're enamored by. And after a while, I started like, why is it we don't want to meet the heroes? And what I found is you get in proximity to them, you start to realize that there's a different way that they literally function and think and talk. And to the extent of where I realize as an athlete, this is the best way to kind of frame it up.
Yeah.
People go, oh, meet your athletic heroes. Why? Because they don't make you feel special when you're with them. And the reality is you look at these people that are just on the cover of magazines and getting awards, and you realize what they have to do, the tick they have to have inside to do that, it's not the average human. So when you get around them and you don't think like they do or function like they do, or you make dumb excuses, we look at you and go, what's wrong with you? So you don't feel special. So yeah, you don't want to meet this guy. He didn't make you feel special.
Yeah.
And I go, the reality is like people have to understand that it does take a complete different daily functioning. Like when things happen to me, my brain does something different than 99% of people, or I wouldn't be in the position I am, right? Same for you. And people look at it like there's something wrong and like there's something off, and it's like it's not. But the thing is, you are enthralled by who we are and what we've done because of the way we tick.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like this weird, interesting oxymoron to it of, you're right, like not everybody's made for it. And it's okay though. I think it's a one thing. I have a best friend, we go back to fourth grade, 30 something years. And I go, he hates the idea of my calendar, my schedule, my life, but he's happy in what he does and I'm happy in what I do. And that happiness creates a good uniqueness. So just because you're not a business owner doesn't make it bad. It just makes it a different thing for you.
Dude, trust me. Like when my best friend is banging it out with another woman in a company vehicle, drunk, like the only thing I wished in that moment was to just have like a normal job and a normal life.
Yeah.
Like, dude, why do I do this to myself,
Yeah.
right? So many times questioning, like, am I actually built for this?
Yeah.
Like, is this actually
normal.
me?
I'll tell you
And
that.
it takes enough of that repetition that now, like, dude, and, eventually the good end of the story with the company is like, boom, one day we sell the company to a public company. I'm 30 years old. I'm wealthy. I'm 3 kids, 10 years, happy married. Like, life is perfect. And then just as soon as you reach the summit, it sort of all comes crashing down again, right?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Let's do this. That's a perfect moment to stop and
Okay.
take a quick little break.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Where are you falling short of your full potential in life, and what is it costing you? See, one thing we rarely measure is the cost of our inaction. See, there's so many things set for your life that if you don't lean in and get them done, they're going to pass you by. And the truth is, it's not because you don't know what to do. It's because you are not at the level to do it. You cannot attain or sustain a vision for your life above your current identity. But what is your current identity? What should you do to make a shift in that identity? Well, the goal is you have to do the dark work, but the right dark work. To figure out where your identity is now and what dark work you must do, go to darkworkassessment.com, take the assessment, and let it clear the path for you so you can find out how to shift into your dominator's identity with a mentality of, I have done too much work in the dark to lose in the light. darkworkassessment.com, figure out where you're at. Let's get back to the episode.
All right, we're now back with Tyler Hall. We're going to go a little more in depth, a lot more in depth. So he's doing well, you're doing well, everything's in a good position, and then what happens?
I reached the pinnacle for, startup founders,
Yeah.
which is founded a company from nothing, raised a bunch of venture capital, and then successfully exit, sell this thing.
That's the goal.
And I did it in like a relatively short amount of time, about 4 years.
Yeah.
Thanks to COVID, by the way. And 4 months after the acquisition, this is now February of 22.
Okay.
I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm at a Marriott. I'm going up to my room. I get on the elevator, doors start to close. Man sticks his arm in the door. Steps on the elevator. I simply say, "Hey man, how you doing?" This man looks me in the eyes. I'll never forget this. And he says, "I'm not doing well." He said, "I had to bury my 26-year-old son today." He said, "This has been the hardest day of my life." And I just went, you just don't expect to hear that. You expect, "I'm good, how are you? I'm well."
Yeah.
Man, this hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't know what to say. I was speechless. So I just listened. He said he was a good kid. He didn't have a drug problem. It was a total fluke accident. And I am just heartbroken. And I'm like, and he says, "I don't know who you are. I don't know if you have a family, if you have kids, but if you do, man, just one piece of advice, hold them really close because you never know when it's going to be their last day."
Yeah.
Doors open. I open up my arms to embrace this man. I give him a hug. He leaves. Doors close.
Yeah.
I'm just filled with emotion, right? I go up, I call my wife, I tell her about this. I say, "Hey, I'm so sorry that I haven't always been there. I'm so sorry. Here I am on a work trip again and having this experience, and it really hit me. It really impacted me." Okay, almost exactly 1 month later, almost to the day, I'm in New York City. I'm with the CEO of the parent company. We're doing a thing where we're getting ready to go on CNBC at NASDAQ live. Like this is every entrepreneur's dreams. Like sell a company, go to Wall Street, do the thing, be on the news.
On the little podium there with your thing, and
the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
We're going live. And I wake up, we do a rehearsal February 28th, March 1st, it's a Tuesday. I wake up from a call from my mother-in-law. By the way, my mother-in-law and I don't like talk on the phone. That's not a normal thing.
Abnormal call to get.
So instead of answering the phone and saying, "Hello, I knew something was wrong," I said, "What happened?"
Yeah.
She said, "Brooklyn's going to the hospital in an ambulance. We don't know what's going on. This is my wife, her daughter." I text my assistant, I say, "I've got to get home. Something's happened to my wife."
Yeah.
I'm in the Uber, I'm getting text message updates from my father-in-law. They read, "Just got to the hospital. They checked her into triage, did an ultrasound. They found 2 liters of blood in her abdomen. They just rushed her in for an emergency surgery." Sends me the diagnosis. It's called a ruptured ectopic pregnancy.
Okay.
I find out that in more than 50% of cases, when this happens in the home, it's lethal. I go from like, when bad things happen, they just get better, to my wife's gonna die. And I'm on the airplane. I'm getting updates about every hour. Still in surgery, still in surgery, still in surgery. Okay.
Yeah.
3 hours under the knife is an eternity, right? The last message I get is the plane's descending from New York City to Phoenix, by the way. I'm as far away as I can possibly be.
Way away, yeah.
I get a message that says something to the effect of, "Brace yourself. It doesn't look like she's going to make it." From my father-in-law, from her dad. I'm having every sort of emotion in this moment that you can, which is like, what is life? Why are we here? What is this all for? Who is God? Is there a God?
Yeah.
Have I been a good husband? Have I been a good father? Do I have purpose? I'm flipping through like these stages of grief. My life is sort of flashing before my eyes. All these moments. The last interaction I had with my wife.
Was it good? Was it bad?
I'm trying to think like, have I been there enough for her, for the kids? I land, I run through the airport, I jump in the Uber. It's a 45-minute Uber ride. It's the longest Uber ride of my life.
I can imagine.
I get to the hospital, I run through the emergency room. It's like you would see in the movies. The lady's like, "Sir, who are you?" And I'm just like, beeline to the elevator, go up 1 floor. Get to the 2nd floor, I get to a room. I'm expecting to walk in the room. I'm fully expected that my wife has passed away. That my father-in-law wasn't willing to tell me that she had died until I got there. I walk in the room. First thing audibly that I hear is the heart rate monitor. It's still going.
Mm-hmm.
I sit at her bedside. I look at him. I say, hey, how's she doing? Immediately thereafter, she has this seizure that's super scary. She starts shaking uncontrollably in her bed.
Yeah.
Doctors come in, nurses come in. They calm her down. That night was maybe the darkest, longest night of my life, because I laid there in the hospital with my eyes peeled open, staring at the heart rate monitor, just waiting for it to flatline.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, she's in a state of comatosis at this point. She's no communication, no sort of life except for her heart is beating.
Yeah.
And she makes it through that night. A lot of miracles. God's hand very present through this process, which, by the way, like hours earlier I was questioning if he even existed. We get through a second night. We get to the third day. She starts coming to. She starts coming out of this. Starts communicating. I say, hey, what happened when you had that seizure? That was really scary. I'm asking her, do you remember what happened at home?
Mm-hmm.
I said, what happened with that seizure? She said, when I heard your voice, it gave me life.
Mm.
And that was a moment in our relationship and our marriage that was incredibly powerful for me.
Yeah.
You know, because I realized, like, dude, when you take somebody's hand in marriage, you've shared a little bit about you and your wife's story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you are one. You are a unit. You're equally yoked together now. And that was just a testament of, like, just my words, my voice just gave her just a little bit of energy to just fight and to just hang on.
Yeah.
So the silver lining is she made it. She's incredibly healthy now against all odds. We actually had another child, so we lost that baby. That would have been our fourth.
Yeah.
We ended up having our fourth again 6 months ago, little girl named Noah.
Congrats, man.
And life is starting to smooth itself out.
Yeah.
But man, that was it's hard to explain what a man goes through when he thinks that he's lost everything.
Yeah, because the interesting thing is we're hearing this situation, but the rest of your world's doesn't go away. You know, you're still the head of a company. You still got things going on. There's a heaviness to it.
But you know what else, Anthony? At the same time, everything else, it was like nothing else existed. And in those moments in the hospital, it was like I never once thought about
work or
the company, the money. Like, I didn't think about anything.
Puts it in focus then.
I was incredibly present there with my wife, just and God, just praying that she would get through this.
Yeah.
And you know, that really put things in perspective for me, because it's like, in your darkest hour, when you think that the love of your life is gone, what are you thinking about? You're nothing except her and her well-being.
Yeah.
So maybe I should spend a little bit more time
the thing that matters
thinking
most.
about her and her well-being, because clearly that's the most important thing.
I get it. It's interesting because, like, I didn't have that exact moment. My mom passed, and I'm hearing that. I'm going, man, I was in the room when I watched my mom pass away, like heart rate monitor, last breath, like, it was heavy. But then, like, that was one of the things for me at this time. I'm divorced. I don't have, like, my family. I'm living in a 500 square foot studio apartment. My kids on a twin air mattress next to my twin bed. Just was a bad place. And I just realized, like, I would not lived in a way that was honoring my mom for me not to be the statistic. And so I made a promise that I'm gonna find a way to be a better man. I'm gonna find a way to be better for the world the way that she unconditionally loved on me. Because I wasn't her blood kid, but she loved me through this. And so I kind of went through my own journey through all the same darkness of finding out what's going on. And then I realized, like, all the things that really matter the most was my family.
Yeah.
That's it. And then the rest of it, like, so I say now I'm in what I call season of dad. Like, I do what I do, but, like, I'm not trying to be a road warrior on the stage everywhere. I like to be home, like, a lot, because that's the stuff that matters, man. Just spending time with my wife, supporting her and her dreams and her stuff for athletics. But I feel heavily what you're saying. It's hard to put into words sometimes.
Yeah.
From those moments for you specifically, what are the things you learned, and then what do they do to change from that moment your life beyond that?
I mean, where do you start, right? Like, I'll describe my life forevermore as the 31 years before my nearly losing my wife and everything after. It was that drastic of a change.
Yeah.
So here are a few. The way that I show up in every interaction is different now. I don't know if you feel this with me, but the moment I met you, I'm here.
You're here.
All the way. And there's nothing else I'm thinking about except you and I right here, right now.
I get it.
That's, I think if I could chalk it up to the one main thing, is it grounded me. It made me present in my life. And I think the majority of people aren't.
I agree. It is different. People feel people differently.
Business owners and entrepreneurs that have this weight, like I've talked about. You know, I was in the room as much as I could be with my kids and my wife, but I actually wasn't there. If that makes sense.
Yep.
I was totally, my mind was thinking about the next fire, the next win, the next thing. I was
email, phone call going off, dinner table.
Oh my gosh. And so that's a big one. The other one's just the way that I think about and prioritize my time has totally changed. So I prioritize my kids. I want to be at all of their things. Yeah. Like I feel just me saying that, just the way we light up.
My
when
calendar
we talk
is
about
different.
Our kids,
it is way different than it used to be. Yeah.
And so I have to be intentional with that. I have to, my wife and I have a shared calendar at home. All the kids' activities are on there. I schedule them into my work calendar, and so they're there. I have certain rules now where you can't get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I have non-negotiables in certain hours of the day where it's my time for my family or for me personally, right? To continue to level my game up as an individual.
Friend group gets smaller, but tighter, but better people.
Yeah. I've certainly a lot more intentional with who I spend time with, for sure.
Yeah.
And I have a concept that I talk about that's called circle management, which is the idea that who is allowed to come into the circle, who should stay, and who needs to go.
Yeah.
And
it's a living entity too.
And constantly, asking yourself that question. Are the people that are in my circle, are they adding value to my life? And am I reciprocating value back to them in some form, right? So, those are probably the three.
Those are good ones.
The three big ones. For
I
sure.
like the idea of ground because that was the big thing for me too. Is like I was on my laptop all day. Just when you're present, people feel it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you get more out of life that way. I think that the lessons people are looking for, whatever it is, it's there if you're there. My coach in college always used to tell us, "Be where you are when you are." And like I didn't realize what he meant back in college, but I was like, "Oh, now I get it. Like I'm here, be here. Like, whatever's there is going to be there, and you can't solve all the problems." And the world's not going to burn down if you just don't pick your phone up for an hour.
Yeah.
Like little things, they do trickle into being very, very useful. And I don't believe you have to have gone through the exact same hardship that you've gone through to be able to learn and apply the lessons.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, people that they hear it and go, "Oh, it's just information." And I go, no, you've got to apply these things. And if you do, it's a life changer. Yeah. You can avoid all the crazy headaches from that point forward. As you look at the future of what you're doing, right? You're still building things. My guess is you're still a builder. Like I'm present, but I'm still like I have the itch to like still see. I think part of it for me is my wife goes, "Why do you work so hard?" She's like, "Take a sabbatical year." I'm like, I don't want to. I don't think you get it. Like I love what I get to do. I love how I get to show up. And you don't want to know that Anthony doesn't have that in his life. Yeah. I may not be the same guy. Yeah. But I do know that for me, like I feel like if I don't do these things, I'm wasting a gift that God gave me to give. Yeah. So where do you see yourself giving this gift forward?
I think there's a lot of ways, and I think that's a really purposeful question, because now I compartmentalize my life into areas that fill my cup and areas that fill my family's financial needs, right? And these typically don't cross over.
Usually don't.
By the way, right? Sometimes, like I think public speaking, for example,
to an extent.
That can to an extent, right? Yeah. And there are other things, right, that do this, but for me, these are very separate. Yeah. So things like the podcast, spreading a good message to the world, right? I launched it 1 year ago. We've had almost 80 million people view the podcast in 1 year, which is, just something I never expected was going to happen. I didn't think we were ever going to reach that many people. Yeah. And we have, because we have these kind of conversations. Yeah, they have depth and they have meaning, and we show emotion, and so So I think the podcast is definitely one way. I launched a brand called Levels, which really the undertone of Levels is men's mental health, right? I think there's an epidemic happening right now globally. The suicide rate among men is higher than it's ever been in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And you can chalk it up to a few things, but one of them is a lack of sense of purpose because of a lack of community,
Yeah,
a lack
true.
of having other men that we can
Talk
call
to.
on and
Yeah,
rely
without being
on.
competitive too.
And talk to and open up and be vulnerable and show a little bit of our feminine side, right? That's important. You know, I spend a lot of my time trying to pour into other people, right? Justin Prince, I was just at his house. I flew to St. George to do his youth speaking series, right? He does a thing at his house. By the way, you should
I'd love
definitely
to. I
go
think I
and do
saw
that.
videos of this recently.
Yeah.
You definitely had them on social. I was scrolling through inside. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to be part of that.
It's amazing, and just having the opportunity and now the means to be able to go and pour into people, like that. One of those youth, by the way, 19-year-old kid, reached out to me after and said, "Hey, you really had a big impact on me today," and I said, "Tell me more. Tell me more. What
was it?
happened?
Yeah.
What was the impact?" And dude, he wrote me this string of texts, basically like, "I'm at a really dark place in my life.
Yeah.
My mom has stage 4 cancer. She's about to die. My dad has had multiple strokes and heart attacks in the last 2 years." And he shared this, and I said, "Cool, when can we get on a call?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Really? You'll like talk to me?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, I have unlimited amounts of time for this."
Yeah.
Right? So we had a call yesterday, super meaningful. We have another one next week, right?
That's awesome.
So this is how I'm trying to
Yeah. And
give
usually,
back.
yeah.
And sometimes it's very intimate,
Yeah.
but sometimes like platforms like these, you know, we can reach a lot of
More,
people.
hit more, yeah.
Right?
And it's we're very kindred, man. Do the same thing. So in the foster care world, which is where I come from, there's not many people that are prominent. So they do the same thing. I have a lot of calls with people behind the scenes that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
No one will ever hear. But I don't need them to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But
that's right.
I think a lot of the things that I'm hearing in you are also the position of you went through a lot, and then I think you were given certain difficulties to navigate.
Yeah.
So that when you got in a position of wherever you're here now to be able to talk on a platform, you have depth and you have empathy and you have a connection that serves more people than if you didn't have that.
Yeah.
But you had enough to go through it all. So we're very kindred, man.
Yeah,
'Cause I like
agree.
you as a human.
Thanks,
Where
bro.
we go have a cup of tea. I don't drink alcohol and I don't do coffee, but I'll have a cup of tea with you.
Okay. Glass of water.
So I love the way you're putting things out into the world. What is something that you want to make sure you leave on your family and your kids? Because for me, I usually think about this thing of, it's a quote that I actually say in one of my speeches, is the last person I ever want to meet in my deathbed is the person I could have been.
Yeah.
And so like I always think about this thought of like, who am I every day, to where when I
Yeah.
get to the back end, I go, I was that man.
Yeah. Great question. When people ask my kids who your father was, I hope that every person says the same thing. And it's the way that he made me feel when I was around him was special. That's it. That's what I want to leave on the world.
Yeah.
Is every interaction that I have, I hope the people leave and just go, man, that was special.
Yeah.
That was different. I felt something being with him. And I think, you know, when we get to the end of this life and again, we're laying on our deathbed, I think that people aren't going to remember you by how much money you had, for sure.
Yeah.
The material things you had, how fit you were, how whatever. They're not going to remember any of that.
Yeah.
They're going to remember how you made them feel.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's
It's a good one. It's
That's
a great
the
one to
goal.
have. I know that too, because I speak for a living. I literally go and I tell stories and speeches, and a lot of people can reach back out 3-4 years later and go, man, I love watching it. I'll do the same thing. I want to know what was the thing I said that resonated. Because when people go to church and like they'll see somebody speaking, they'll go and like everyone got a different message. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. So I go, what is the thing that landed? And they go, I don't remember all of it. Just I remember I enjoyed you up there. You had a lot of energy. And I go, that's what you want to give to the world, because they
Yeah.
don't remember. They just remember how the feeling was when they were in your presence. And if you are given the situation of life that hardens you or conditions you or strengthens you, to give that back, I think it's kind of our duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. And you kind of alluded to the last question I always ask people, which I'll ask you
Yeah.
now, and it has similar tinge to what we were just talking about. But the question was posed to me one time by a guy named J.R. Reed, former baseball player. I'm walking to a Starbucks. I'm on the phone with him, and I sit down at this table. It's like the outside, like, iron ones with the little holes in the middle. And I sit down at just this regular spot, and he goes, hey. I go, hey, how you doing? My name's Anthony. I'm JR. I got a question for you. He starts out like this. What's the question? He goes, what promise did God make to the world when he created you? And I literally, for the first time, I was stuck. And I go, this is the first question you're going to ask me. I just met you, man.
Wow.
And so it had me, and it constantly has me thinking about what promise was made for me. Because I think there's a thing that I want to do, and there's things that I think I'm supposed to be doing. And I've realized I don't want to mess up the plan with my plan. So I'm kind of navigating the two, but I pose that question. What promise did God make to the world when he created you?
Man, that is, you don't want to get that one wrong.
Yeah, right.
Because, you hope that you're in alignment with God and his will, right? I think that it probably has a lot to do with just example, right? One of the things I said in my I am statement is that is essentially, I'm here. I've been called to change the lives of millions of men through my example.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I cap that off. That's the very last thing, and I think that's right. I think that's why God has me here on earth, and He's blessed me with certain gifts. Not many, but one of them is a heightened sense of intuition towards other men.
Yeah. To
understand, really how they're doing, and when to press, and when to question, and when to listen, and
discernment.
Yeah, so I think I feel really fortunate that He's trusted me with that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, man.
Thanks, brother.
That's good.
I appreciate it.
Like you said, I definitely want to walk away with some thoughts and ideas and conversations. Because the thing is, every time you listen to people, you're always just, how's it making? Am I there? And so I just thoughts in my life of where I can definitely be better, right? Just little nuances. And I'm fairly good. I try to focus on spending ample time. Like my boys and I have we do a Bible study together on Sundays, so I spend time there. My daughter and I do weird little projects together because she loves doing that. But it's always I can always be better. A guy named Harvey McKay one time said the biggest room in the world is a room for improvement. And I just have always tried to focus on that. So definitely being around you, I've found some spaces for room for improvement. So I appreciate
Thank you. That means a lot.
Definitely, thank you. You guys who are tuned in right now, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Two things, as always. One, if you found something beneficial from the conversation with Tyler that was that grabbed your heart, apply the information somewhere. It's not about going big, it's about going small in a really big way and building up to something. We started the conversation about identity. I believe everyone has the ability to shift your identity. It's taking these little experiences of life and using them for reasons to do well, not reasons to do poorly, but also finding ways to lean into difficulty because it does make you more of who you can be in the future. And then if you know someone who needs to hear the words that were spoken today, share the episode with them. A simple click of a link and a copy and a paste and send it to somebody can change your lives in ways that maybe you can't because you're too close. But outside of that, go out into the world and make sure you do that work in the dark so you can truly win in the light. It's Anthony Trucks and Tyler Hall signing off.